in a small village surrounded by fields and dust roads. There lived a mother named Sarla and her daughter Mira. Their house was old and broken, but inside it lived a love stronger than any storm. They had very little: a small kitchen, a weak roof, barely enough food. But every morning, Sarla tried to make their poor home feel like a safe world for her daughter. Mira's father had passed away years ago. Sarla never complained, but from that day she carried both pain and responsibility alone. "Mira, Ma, come back early." "Sarla, I will, my child. Be brave till then." Every day, Mira waited at the door for her mother as if waiting for the sun itself. One day, Sarla found an old red ribbon in a rusty box. It was worn and faded, but to Mira, it looked like treasure. "Mira, Ma, I look like a princess." "Sarla, you always were one, but not everyone saw beauty the way her mother did." At school, some children laughed at her ribbon and at her poverty. "Sarla, what happened?" "Mira, Mira, they laughed at me." "Ma, Sarla, never be ashamed of simplicity. Hearts shine brighter than expensive things." Whenever food was less, Sarla always said the same thing: "I already ate." But Mira slowly began to understand the truth. One night, Mira woke up and saw her mother drinking only water instead of eating. "Mira, this is for you." "Sarla, why, my child?" "Mira, because mothers get hungry too." Sarla cried that day, not because of poverty, but because her daughter's love was too pure for such a hard life. One evening, the sky darkened and rain began to fall. But Sarla had still not returned from work. The roof leaked, thunder shook the walls, but Mira's greatest fear was not the storm. It was her mother still walking through it. At last Sarla returned, drenched, shivering, exhausted, but still smiling. "Mira, you came through the storm for this?" "Sarla, you once said you wanted to taste them." As thunder roared outside, they shared those buns together. For Mira, they tasted like sacrifice, warmth, and love. At school, Mira's teacher began to notice something special: kindness, intelligence, and quiet strength. "Teacher, your daughter is exceptional. She should sit for a scholarship exam." That evening, for the first time in a long while, Hope sat beside them in their tiny home. Sarla owned almost nothing, but she still had one precious thing left: the silver anklets from her marriage. She sold them without hesitation. In return, she bought books, pencils, notebooks, and a small lamp for Mira's studies. "Mira, Ma, where are your anklets?" "Sarla, they became your books." From then on, nights became longer. Mira studied while Sarla worked beside her, both fighting darkness in their own way. "Mira, one day I will buy your anklets back." "Sarla, just grow with honesty. That is enough." Before sunrise, they left for the scholarship exam in the town. Sarla carried food. Mira carried fear. "Mira, what if I fail?" "Sarla, then we rise and try again." For 3 hours, Sarla waited outside the hall without food or rest, praying that her daughter's future would open. Weeks later, the teacher came running with the result. Even before she spoke, Sarla's heart knew. "Teacher," she passed and ranked near the top. "Sarla, you did it, my child." The new school was bigger, brighter, and harder. Some children judged her clothes. Some mocked her village accent. On her birthday, Sarla gave her no expensive gift, only one sweet, one lamp, and a handmade card full of love. As the years passed, Sarla's body grew weaker. Hard work had taken its price. Mira began tutoring children, stitching small cloth items, and helping in every way she could. "Teacher, this can take you to the city." "Mira, but how can I leave my mother?" "Sarla, by flying higher for both of us." When Mira spoke about true success, she spoke about mothers who suffer so daughters can rise. And the whole hall fell silent. Years later, Mira returned, not just educated, but transformed. She had earned a respected job and brought dignity home with her. Mira bought new silver anklets for Sarla and built her a safe home where the roof no longer leaked. At last, the mother who had spent her life standing for her child could finally rest. A mother's sacrifice can build a daughter's future, and a daughter's gratitude can turn sacrifice into peace. I am only the result. My mother was the reason.